Hi, I'm John Salter. Armor Attack, Tron are my games of choice now. And when I'm not blowing up vector helicopters or shooting grid bugs, I'm watching Groovey.TV.
Hey, it's Groovey. I'm here with John Salter here at the Kong Off 3 here in Denver, Colorado at the 1UP. How are you, sir?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. I'm finally recovered. I'm back to my full mental state, I'm hoping right now, which may be a bad thing. I don't know.
How many hours just staying awake did you just accomplish?
Well, it's kind of it's a tricky question there because I did take breaks, so I got anywhere from 17 to 35 minutes of sleep between each session I played. So I played 53 hours and 10 minutes. So, you know, it's like I said, it's a kind of a trick question a little bit because I did get some sleep, but the game time was 53 minutes, or 53 hours, 10 minutes.
That is insane. That's freaking amazing. And this was with Armor Attack, correct?
Yes, sir. Armor Attack 1980 Cinematronics, one of my favorite games. Kind of not, I don't want to say an obscure game, but it's a game not a lot of people know about because, you know, you have Pac-Man, all the big games, but it's a game that's kind of close to my heart, so I figured, you know, why not, you know, try to break that Twin Galaxy records, you know, for me and my cousin that used to play it.
Nice, nice. So what made you actually choose this game?
Well, in 2011 at Richie Knuckles Arcade, I went there for the Invitational, and when I walked in, I went there specifically to hang out with Richie, meet him, and watch David Cruz play Tron, because he's going to break the record. And when I walked in, I see Joel West. At the time, I didn't know who he was, and he was sitting on this big platform with a chair on top of it, like on a throne playing Frenzy in a marathon, and I was like, man, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was like, what is he doing? And they're like, oh, he's going to play Frenzy for 50 hours or whatever. And I'm like, that's even cooler. I mean, that's like right up my alley. Yeah. So it's something I always in the back of my head wanted to do, but I can't play games that I don't really like or have some type of emotional investment or something into. So I figured, you know, one day I'll find something. So I started building my arcade, and I really wanted an Armor Attack because it's a game that me and my cousin used to play, and the memories from the 80s and all that. So I finally found one, and I started kind of ripping it apart to go for that record, and I realized that, wow, this is going to take a long time to do. And with the help of Dwayne Richards, he gave me some tips of how he used to play it, and I realized it was a marathonable game. So I'm like, okay, the stars have aligned. I found a game I love, and it's marathonable. So between practicing for the Tron World Record, which I want to take a run at, when I was burnt out on that, I'd play Armor Attack and kind of rip that apart. And I played like 9-hour practice games, 6-hour. I played probably longer practice games than most people play a regular game. Right. And I came up with a strategy to do it in about between 66 and 80 hours. I figured it would take, most likely 72. So I called Jordan and I said, hey, you know, let's kick off the Kong Off right here and do a Armor Attack marathon. And he was all for it, so we did it.
So badass. Now, how did it all turn out?
Well, it went great. I've never done a marathon before, but my lifestyle with I have like small DJ business, landscape business, and a regular job. So in the summer, I don't sleep a lot anyway if I want a game. So I figured this is kind of up my alley. Not getting the sleep, I should be able to handle it. So you know, we fired everything up and played. And the first attempt, I went 10 hours, and the machine reset. Bill Carlton style, and I talked to Bill about that too. Like, you know, I don't know if you know about his Missile Command. That was that whole story behind that. So I was pretty demoralized, and I really didn't want to play again because I already wasted 10 hours there, 4 hours to get the machine back up, and I took an hour and a half sleep in between it. And I was like, you know what? I'm here. I have nowhere else to stay, so it's either play Armor Attack or sleep in the streets. So we fired it up again, and I just went for it and just played, took my breaks, and everything went along good, and then the fire button started messing up about maybe 10 hours into it. And I was able to fix it and keep going. And as time went on, you know, we're at 20 hours, and we're at 24 hours, we're at 30 hours. And then I got in a really bad run on the game where I couldn't build up enough guys to take my next break. So I figured, this was at 52 hours, I think. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to play it out in hard mode, because the game goes in kind of an easy mode for marathoning there's like some glitches and stuff. And I just played it out, and I'm like, I'm gonna go and play another 5 hours until I collapse and play as long as I can. And I was playing along, and then the button finally stuck. So the button ended the game, but the marathon was over an hour earlier. You know, because a lot of people are like, oh, if it wasn't for that button, you would have done it, but not really. I would have just maybe got it at 58 hours. Right. So, you know, that's kind of how it went. You know, I don't know if I answered the question. I kind of babbled on a little bit, but But yeah, that's pretty much how it went, with a lot of drama in between it. You can check out the Twitch stream; it's up there if you want to check out parts of the game. And then I also felt a responsibility for the people who are invested in watching that for 53 hours to get on afterwards, so you can really see what it's like for someone who marathons a game that long and stays up that long, what their mindset is afterwards. I haven't watched that yet, and I'm sure I'll be embarrassed when I do, because I was kind of babbling on. It got kind of emotional, but I felt that it was the right thing to do, because people were wondering. The Twitch stream went out too at the end. Geez. Yeah, so people were wondering what the heck happened. So it's the full game is there, and you can also see the end of my opinion on how the whole thing went.
Right. Yeah, I have trouble like making 53 minutes without a nap. So 53 hours, that's insane.
Yeah, well, it comes down to, for me, a game I like. If you ask me to do Cubert or some obscure game that there's emotional investment there. I did it for me, for my cousin, just for those memories, and it's a game I love. So, I went into it with I'm going to play this game until I collapse. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm tired, I'm done. That wasn't going to happen. So, and after it was done, I was so hyped up at the end. When it ended, I stayed up. I think it ended at 8:20 Mountain Time. I think I went to bed at 1:30. I went down to the One-Up actually and played a little Tron to test the machine out, because I wanted to do a Tron run in a couple of days. So, I stayed up for a little bit longer. So I could have done it. I firmly believe I could have made the 72, 78 hours, whatever it took, because I felt pretty good.
Are you gonna make another run of it in the future?
Yes, I'm hoping Kencade, that's Ken House's arcade in Oregon. I'm hoping mid-January we can do something. Nice. It all depends on it. You're talking 3 days, maybe a little bit more to do it. So it really depends on work and all that. But in the winter, I have a little bit more free time than I do in the summer. So, but it's gonna get done again. I'm gonna beat that record.
Nice. All right, man. So besides arcade games, what are you into?
Geez. In anything in general?
Yeah, what do you geek out on besides games?
Well, I have a couple kids, my 2 daughters, so hang out and do stuff with them. My younger daughter, we kind of hang out and do this. My older daughter's in high school, so she wants nothing to do with dad at this point anymore. So, but me and my younger daughter just kind of hang out, and she, watches me play the games and stuff like that, and I do things with her. Right. I have a DJ business, which is more of a fun thing, side project. So I, do that, and just do parties and that kind of stuff. And I work a lot, so the games are really, I really have to pick one hobby. I used to fly model airplanes, and I design model airplanes. That's cool. And that's kind of how I met Richie, because I wanted to go out there and fly some planes with him. So I do that, but that kind of got pushed to the side because I only have time for one thing.
Sure.
So, but you go to metalaviation.com, www.metalaviation.com. You can check out videos I do there, and it's kind of crazy stuff where I crashed an F-14 into a brick wall that we built.
See, that's badass.
So that's there's that video. We do stuff like that, but I kind of push that off to the side to play the game stuff, because the thing about gaming is the people. There's more. The people with the same kind of mindset are into that. So something like the Kong off here, you get to see all the people you talk to online, and to me, gaming here is secondary. Right. You can always play the games, but the reason I play the games is to get good at them and play them, but it's sharing those stories. Right. Now I got Armor Attack, I got one of the greatest stories ever, 53 hours of stories we can talk about and reminisce about. So, the people are really the big thing for me.
That's so badass, man. And thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers. It's Groovy. I'm here with John Salter here at the Kong Off 3 One-Up, Denver, Colorado. Rock on.
Later.
Bye-bye.